YouTube? It's your boy M. Will back again. Welcome to another episode of the Angry Sports Chat, and we're coming to you with another video. Let's go. All right, so before the week ends, I have to give my take on the Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs situation and what I think it means for the future of the franchise. This won't take long, and this is like from the outside looking in a little bit, but at the same time, what NFL fan hasn't been following the Chiefs for the last 5, 7, 10 years? But anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. So we already know that we've had some key guys struggling, we've had some key guys injured, and we have some that have had a little mix of both. And with the season that they were having, they were going to be picking the middle rounds anyway before anybody even got injured. But of all the injuries to sustain, and to the one person you don't want sustaining it, might actually be a blessing in disguise. So before y'all say I'm tripping, just hear me out. Now, if the injury happens in the beginning of the season, there's immense pressure on Patrick Mahomes as well as the Kansas City Chiefs going into the following season. Because generally, this type of injury doesn't take any more than a year, which means if it happens early in the season, that means next season, Patrick Mahomes is expected to be there. Now, the reason why that's a problem is because let's say he does get injured early in the season and they have these issues. Most people from the outside looking in, and maybe even people within the organization themselves, are going to chalk it up to, well, Patrick wasn't there, so these issues aren't really all that big of a deal. And I think they've warranted that. I think that that is a fair assumption based on his previous body of work with the team, as well as with his head coach, Andy Reid. That's pretty fair. But the good thing about it happening now is that now, in my opinion, I think that they have 2 years to plan instead of 1. And the reason why I say 2 is because the issues happened on Patrick Mahomes' watch. He's been healthy most of the season. So the fact that these things were happening with him on the field, y'all can no longer go ahead and say, oh, well, these are issues because he wasn't on the field. And while statistically it's been his worst year, it hasn't been a bad year for him. Still completing 62% of his passes, which is not bad. 22 touchdowns to 11 interceptions before he went down, which is not bad. Oh, and by the way, may I add, he's only 30 years old. So that man still got a whole lot of football in him left. And we're talking about in a league where quarterbacks are now playing dang near till 40. So you better believe he ain't going nowhere no time soon. But this is a golden opportunity, in my opinion, to go ahead and get those pieces you need, and to do so using a 2-year window. Now, we don't know if they're going to use a 2-year window, but that would highly be my suggestion. Because, like, what are they really in a rush for, right? It's like you still have a prime Mahomes, even if you don't have him for the rest of next season. He played out most of this season already, right? The man has an injury that most people try to get back from within the year, but it's like, no, give him that extra time, right? Bring some pieces in. Just chalk next season, because this season's already chalk. So chalk next season altogether to give him that extra time he needs to rehab. Get the pieces that you need. There should be no real rush to get him back on the field, because you guys have had immense success since the man has become a starter. Y'all have 5 Super Bowl appearances, 3 Super Bowls. Y'all are good for a little bit. Y'all will be okay for 1 year, Kansas City fans. Just think if Brett Veach, general manager Brett Veach, decides he wants to go down this route. I honestly think that would be the best course of action to get them back on track even faster. Because with Mahomes out of the lineup, you can go ahead and see what guys will pan out and what guys won't within these next 2 years. Draft well, or make those moves in free agency, whatever it is you got to do. But y'all know what it is y'all have to do. I don't even need to say it. Everyone has seen the regression of the offensive line. Everyone has seen the regression of Kelsey. Everyone has seen that once Rice got back and he was starting to get more attention, when he proved that he was going to definitely be that guy, that he was kind of having an up and down season after he came back from the injury. Like when he came back, explosive, just like we thought, but then defenses were like, you know what, we're going to go ahead and key in on that guy, which is what they did, and they don't have anybody else opening up for him. So again, I can't stress this enough to go ahead and use 2 years instead of 1. And when I say 2 years, I'm talking about this upcoming offseason and the following upcoming offseason. So next year is supposed to be the throwaway year. It's supposed to be, you know, just whatever. You use this season to get in some guys and get them the reps that they need, okay? Next season, let them get the reps they need. Let them get the experience of the NFL game, or if they've already been in the league and you're talking about bringing in new faces off of free agency, let them get accustomed to the way y'all do things in Kansas City. And then the following offseason, you know, hopefully you just, like I said, you draft real well, or you bring in some other guys that you think will be a good fit for the system. So by the 27-28 season, you guys are looking really good to go ahead and start your dominance all over again. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because of freaking Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. They have proven, okay, they stick with what it is that they do, and even though there may be a gap, they're going to remain contenders as long as those two are together. Like, they just understood the assignment. I get that same vibe from Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Not to mention, they have a much better relationship, in my opinion, again, from the outside looking in. So look, if these things are done, I don't see any reason why we're not going back to hating the Chiefs all over again. Because y'all hate greatness, and so that's why I'm saying that. But you know what I mean. But me, I love greatness, so I would like to see them win 1 or 2 more before Patrick Mahomes hangs it up, which I think is very possible and very capable. And I think would not be as big of a gap as it was with the Patriots when they went like a good 6, 7, 8 years from their second title to their 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th, I think it was. However many titles they won. I know they won a couple, like 2 or 3. Then they went like a good dang near. They went a long time before they won another one. And Tom Brady also had injuries stuck in there in between, but they were still at least contenders every year. That's the same vibe I'm getting from Patrick Mahomes and them. So again, this injury can definitely be the catalyst to putting them back on the track faster. But even still, they'll still get back on track. I don't see them really falling off anytime soon. It's going to be a little gap, obviously, starting next year. Starting this year for real, but definitely starting next year, right? And then once he gets back, 2027, 2028, we see what happens from then. I expect dominance, but it starts right now.